What if the man everyone laughed at turned out to be the one person brave enough to stand between danger and a powerful CEO? In today's inspiring story, a successful CEO mocks a single dad for wearing an old worn-out coat. But later that same day, she comes face to face with the man she fears most, and the single dad she humiliated becomes her unexpected protector. This emotional story is filled with courage, sacrifice, and a powerful lesson about never judging someone by their appearance. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories. Now let's get started. The rain fell steadily over Seattle as employees hurried into the sleek glass headquarters of Hayes Innovations. Inside, everything reflected success: polished floors, modern furniture, and people dressed in expensive suits. Victoria Hayes, the company's CEO, walked through the lobby with confidence, her sharp heels clicking against the marble floor. She was admired for building the company from the ground up, but many employees also feared her blunt honesty and demanding standards. That morning, Daniel Carter arrived carrying a toolbox in one hand and an umbrella in the other. As an independent contractor, he handled maintenance projects for the company. His brown coat looked old and faded, with a few carefully stitched patches near the sleeves. It had clearly seen many winters. Daniel didn't pay much attention to it. Every dollar he earned went towards supporting his 8-year-old daughter, Emma. Since his wife had passed away several years earlier, he had raised Emma alone, balancing work-school activities and household responsibilities. As Daniel entered the lobby, a few employees glanced at his coat and whispered among themselves. Victoria happened to notice him while discussing quarterly reports with her management team. Her eyes settled on the worn fabric, and a faint smirk appeared on her face. "Mr. Carter," she called loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear. "That coat belongs in a museum. I'm surprised it's still holding together." Several employees laughed nervously. The comment hung in the air, making the atmosphere uncomfortable. Daniel stopped for a moment and looked at her. He could have responded with anger, but he simply offered a polite smile. "It still does its job," he said calmly. Victoria shrugged and continued walking as if nothing had happened. The employees followed her, but a few looked back at Daniel with sympathy. He quietly continued toward his assignment without another word. What none of them knew was that the old code represented years of sacrifice. It had kept Daniel warm during long nights working extra jobs, and every patch told a story of a father choosing his daughter's needs before his own. That evening, the grand ballroom of a luxury hotel in downtown Seattle glowed with crystal chandeliers and elegant decorations. Business leaders, investors, and community figures gathered for a charity gala hosted by several of the city's largest companies. Victoria Hayes arrived wearing a designer gown and immediately became the center of attention. Conversations paused as guests greeted her, hoping to exchange a few words with the successful CEO. Across the room, Daniel Carter was also present. Earlier that week, a non-profit organization he volunteered with had invited him as a guest of honor for his years of community service. Dressed neatly in a simple suit, he stayed near the edge of the crowd, feeling more comfortable away from the spotlight. As the evening continued, Victoria smiled politely through countless introductions. Then, while accepting congratulations from a group of investors, she noticed a familiar face entering the ballroom. Her expression changed instantly. The color drained from her face and her confident posture stiffened. It was Ryan Mercer. Years earlier, Ryan had been her business partner. Their partnership ended after a bitter dispute involving company funds and unethical decisions. Since then, he had repeatedly tried to intimidate her through threats and harassment. Although security had been informed about him in the past, seeing him there unexpectedly sent a wave of fear through her. Ryan began walking directly toward her with a cold smile. Victoria instinctively stepped back. Several guests sensed the tension but didn't understand what was happening. Before Ryan could reach her, another figure moved between them. Daniel. He had noticed Victoria's frightened expression from across the room. Standing firmly in front of her, he faced Ryan without hesitation. "I think you should leave," Daniel said calmly but firmly. Ryan laughed. "This doesn't concern you." "It does now," Daniel replied. The determination in his voice caught everyone's attention. Security personnel, alerted by the disturbance, quickly approached. Seeing that he no longer had an easy target, Ryan's confidence faded. Within moments, security escorted him out of the ballroom. Victoria stood speechless. The man she had mocked that morning had stepped forward without a second thought to protect her. For the first time, she looked beyond Daniel's appearance and saw the courage, integrity and strength that had always been there.